This being your third season, it seems like you've been a lot more assertive or spicy this year.
Spicy? I don't know, spicy. Smooth. I mean, I feel like for me, it's just my approach. It's just coming in and just trying to be dominant in anything the team needs. And so if that gives off spicy, which I really don't think it does, I feel like I'm like kind of quiet. Spice? No, I just know it's spicy. But yeah, I feel like that's just been my mindset. Is just coming in and just being the player that I need to be for us. Whatever that looks like, it looks like.
Playoffs! That's how we clinch, baby! We can't!
W.
Playoffs!
Bow!
Yeah! Playoffs, baby!
Official in transition. Lays that up and in for our first bucket of the game. Sims off the cross again into the paint, lays it up and in.
It's over. The Sky Barbie era, that whole charade, it's done. Angel Reese's reign in Chicago is crashing down, and the team is being forced to move on. Why? Because a legend just fired back, and her words didn't just hit, they shattered. The illusion. Courtney Vandersloot, a name whispered with reverence in WNBA circles, just scorched Angel Reese without breaking a sweat. And she's not alone. Even titans like Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson are piling on. Reese never saw this coming. When you target a legend, you absolutely cannot afford to miss.
When you think back to the beginning of the season, if someone were to tell you, like, this is where you would be, this is your team, like, at the end of the season, like, genuinely, what do you think the reaction would be?
Probably no stinking way. I don't think, thinking back to the beginning of the season, that anyone would have ever foreseen it going like this. For whatever reason, things happen, and you've got to continue to put your best foot forward. You got to continue to stay the course. This group has been forced to grow strong roots, and teams can go one of two ways when those things happen. You either use it to pull you together and as motivation to continue to get better and do it for one another and do it for your teammates that have been lost to injury, or it pulls some teams apart.
Angel Reese recently unleashed a verbal assault, not only on her own teammates but aimed directly at the legendary Courtney Vandersloot. Vandersloot, a 5-time All-Star and 2-time WNBA champion, is fiercely battling back from a devastating ACL injury at the season's start, determined to return to the court. Yet, Reese, barely a sophomore, chose this moment to launch a public attack, questioning Vandersloot's age and ability to recover. Slew is old. We need somebody young that can do this, that got some experience, but we need somebody young. She too old. I don't know if she can come back from that torn ACL. Reese declared. Vandersloot's response was a chilling counterpunch. Contrary to what people say or think, my age is not a factor. I'm coming back better than ever. This wasn't subtle. When a bona fide legend, a 2-time champ, directly addresses a rookie, it signals a storm has escalated beyond control. The Sky locker room isn't just fractured, it's openly leaking. Is Angel Reese already incinerating bridges faster than she can construct them?
When I look at this group, I'm just so incredibly thankful for the type of people that we have in this locker room, for the way that they have been able to continue to stay the course and bounce back and stay together, to pull for one another, to really be flexible enough to make space for different types of teams that we've had throughout the course of the year, and to continue to put ourselves in position.
Inside Howard, off the window, the bucket, and the foul. Heady 3, knocks it down again. Lost the handle, gets it back, gets right to the hoop, and she drops it home.
Fever 94, Mystics 65. Indiana's in. And now you know, despite all the adversity, this incredibly resilient Fever team is going back to the playoffs in 2025.
The truth is, this isn't Reese's first rodeo with controversy. Since stepping into the league, from LSU's internal turmoil to her WNBA debut, chaos has been her constant companion. But this time, the act is wearing thin, unraveling before our eyes. Targeting an icon like Vandersloot demands precision, a surgical strike. Reese's shot, however, landed with the impact of a wet noodle, falling flat and exposing her inexperience. Vandersloot isn't just some random role player. She's a 7-time assist champion, a WNBA titan whose resume screams louder than any social media rant. Yet, Reese carelessly tossed out public comments about Vandersloot's age, her resilience, and the team's ability to count on her return. This wasn't just shade, it was a brazen slap in the face to one of the most respected veterans in the game. Why this path? Reese has barely completed her second professional season, while Caitlin Clark, her rival and the league's undeniable draw, is already cementing her legacy as Indiana's franchise centerpiece. Reese, meanwhile, is actively turning her own locker room against her, alienating teammates and jeopardizing any hope of unified leadership.
And more than anything, y'all, big picture-wise, this group, there would have been so many teams that would have folded with all we've been through. And we just kept getting better, and we kept getting tougher, and we kept becoming more resilient, and we kept figuring things out, right? Like, we've had like 7 new teams throughout the course of this season. and no matter what, we've been flexible, we've been accountable, we've put each other in positions to be successful, and we've continued to put one foot forward and stayed the course.
You just don't know what she's going to do. I mean, she's so crafty with her shot decisions. Howard right to the hoop high out the window. She's slicing through that paint. Aims for back tap, and it ends up with aerial Powers inside Howard. Off the window, the bucket, and the foul by the rookie all-star Sonia Citron. Howard quickly back the other way, time back at 34.
Now, let's talk about the Sky's response because it's almost laughable. A half-game suspension? That's not discipline, that's comedic theater. The Sky management effectively announced to the world, we can't control our star, so we'll bench her for 20 minutes and pray she behaves. No one respects that, not the fans, not the players, and certainly not the media. Courtney Vandersloot's return to the conversation didn't just put Reese in her place, it served as a stark, undeniable reminder of what true professionalism looks like. A veteran who has endured brutal injuries, earned championships, and still speaks with unwavering determination stands in stark contrast to a young player whose mouth is running light years ahead of her actual development. The difference is night and day.
Dolson had to stay home because she had an occupied side. In terms of a cutter in her area, she stayed. Petty free, knocks it down again. Flip it. She's just such a solid stabilizer for Washington. Howard right to the hoop, lays it up and in. Fourth foul on Austin. Austin down low. Double tongue, drops back to Howard, who lays it up. Austin got that rebound. Here's Powers. Lost the handle, gets it back, gets right to the hoop. There she drops it home. 8 on the shot clock here for Citron. So free screen that. And then they got the switch they want. Oh, couldn't get it in. Tough turnover there for Washington. The loose ball collected by Dolson. And Citron brings it over half. Powers in the passing lane. No one to beat. Lays it up and in. See if they can get back to that and connect plays and stack possessions with that level of effectiveness.
The contributions didn't stop there.
Meanwhile, the fan bases are at war, and it's getting ugly. Reese's online supporters have been relentless, attacking Vandersloot personally, insulting her storied career, and dragging every conversation into the digital gutter. It's childish. It's nasty, and it directly reflects poorly on Reese. Like it or not, your fan base becomes an extension of your brand. Caitlin Clark's fans elevate her, Angel Reese's fans tear others down. That alone speaks volumes. Vandersloot doesn't need Twitter wars or Instagram reels to validate her worth. Her career stands as an unshakable monument. That's why her measured, powerful response landed with the force of a hammer. She didn't need to scream or rant. She simply stated the undeniable truth. She's coming back, she's far from done, and her age is a non-factor. Reese, in this comparison, appears to be the architect of her own problems, fabricating drama out of thin air.
A finishing plays. Here's Paul, guarded by Citron. Hanging, fading, kicks off the glass. My goodness. Be better served. Maybe pour out one end and have him take turns with it. Oh. Clips them three.
Shea Petty gave them flawless shooting, going 3 for 3 from deep and ending with 13 points. Every role player who checked into the game walked out having left their mark.
Sanders also back for the fever. Here's Petty in the corner. He knocks it down. Thanks to Alicia Clark and Jade Seamless with the philosophy and culture and playing with joy as being the top tier point of emphasis there. Mitchell in transition lays that up and in for our first bucket of the game.
The irony here is almost unbelievable. Reese constantly speaks of wanting championship caliber players around her, of elevating Chicago. Yet, what elite talent would willingly join a team where the supposed star forward publicly disrespects veterans and throws shade at legends? Free agents meticulously observe these dynamics.
I'm so proud of you guys. I mean, this was, we owned them in the second half. Hell yeah! 27 total points, we had them two in the second half. 27 points off of turnovers? Hell yeah! And we took care of it, only 7 turnovers for us. Woo! A complete team effort, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in double figures. I mean, it was just all really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Aliyah, just through the adversity that you guys went through this season, especially maybe in August when people were going down left and right, did you guys feel like this was always possible to make the playoffs? Did you ever have moments of concern or doubt? And what allowed you guys to just keep, the eyes on the prize more or less? Yeah, I think, just being someone in this locker room, you never doubt yourself and what you're capable of, no matter what happens. I think the entire staff, up to the head, just made great decisions when people went down on who to bring in, the type of people to bring in. And that was really our mindset. We never doubted ourselves. We never doubted that we could be in the playoffs. Even if things looked like it got harder, for us, it was about sticking together. And I think through everything, you're able to see that, us play with joy, us play together, regardless of who's on that floor.
Why commit to a team where the locker room feels less like a cohesive unit and more like a never-ending reality TV spectacle? The Chicago Sky management, frankly, isn't innocent either. They've allowed this chaotic mess to fester. That flimsy half-game suspension screams weakness from the front office. Either support your player unequivocally or hold her accountable, without hesitation. Attempting both makes you look utterly clueless. The front office appears spineless, the coach seems powerless, and the entire team drifts directionless. Add Reese's constant drama to this volatile mix, and you have the perfect, devastating recipe for a completely wasted season.
It meant the Fever played their best basketball whenever she was in the game.
Likes to get into their offense. You see Jade Melvin getting that defensive assignment on Mitchell. She picked her up pretty much 3/4 court. Boston baseline jumper falls. That's the advantage with Mitchell guarding her. 11-0 run right now for Washington. Boston got that baseline, misses, gets her own, and finishes.
Without Clark, this wasn't just about replacing scoring. Anyone can look for extra points. Boston had to become the team's backbone, the steady pulse that kept the heartbeat alive. She chased down missed shots, anchored the paint.
And while we're being brutally honest, let's confront the uncomfortable truth. Angel Reese is no Caitlin Clark. Not in leadership, not in consistent production, and certainly not in how they carry themselves through adversity.
How would you describe the locker room after the game today, just being able to sell?
Well, we didn't make a TikTok, so
I think everyone is just super excited. Like you said, it hasn't been a perfect road. And so for us, it's enjoying the little moments while at the same time understanding we have another game on Tuesday and then we have to prepare for the playoffs. But I think just being in the moment and being where our feet are and kind of just enjoying this one.
Got a piece of glass for the finish there. Boston seal inside, comes right back for the finish.
Her influence goes further than the box score and one speech, though. A younger team.
Clark has already seized the mantle as the face of a franchise and a primary driver of the entire league's skyrocketing popularity. Reese, conversely, is still struggling to navigate how not to alienate her teammates before the season even reaches its climax. The constant comparison now only serves to embarrass her further, starkly highlighting her current shortcomings.
I feel proud. I feel proud of these women and what they've been able to continue to do. I feel proud that we continue to raise the standard for ourselves and for one another. But I'm also, I look at this group and the roots that have been grown throughout the course of this season and thinking about, not just where we are now and the opportunity that we have in the playoffs, but where we're going to be in the future.
To be clear, does Reese possess undeniable potential? Absolutely. She's a rebounding dynamo, a relentless force, and she injects raw energy into every possession. That is genuine, tangible value. But the WNBA is an unforgiving arena. If your accumulated baggage begins to outweigh your on-court production, teams will not hesitate to cut ties and move on without a backward glance. And right now, Angel Reese is treading that precarious line with dangerous proximity. Her suspension didn't just raise eyebrows, it screamed a pivotal question. Does Chicago even have a coherent strategy for managing her? A half-game benching is the kind of flimsy punishment you dole out to a high schooler, not a professional athlete in a high-stakes league. It unequivocally shows the Sky are desperately trying to walk a tightrope, keep Reese on the court because she undeniably sells tickets, yet simultaneously attempt to project an image of discipline because the locker room is visibly imploding. That isn't leadership, it's sheer, unadulterated cowardice.